Good afternoon. From today onwards, we will start. Sorry, here chapter number 2, pressure vessels. Now, you may be thinking that what is meant by pressure vessel. Now, pressure vessels are there that you are observing in our or in your day-to-day life. Now, you are knowing that whenever we are traveling and while traveling, we are observing that gas tanker is there, petrol tanker is there, diesel tanker is there, or that large vessels are there. Therefore, whatever the tankers are there, which are carrying milk, which are carrying that gas, which are carrying that petrol, diesel, they are nothing but pressure vessels. Now, some of the students, they are from Solapur, or you may be visiting Solapur at that time at Pakni Depot. Pakni, one village is there on Mohor Solapur road. Therefore, in that Pakni, one petroleum depot is there, Hindustan Petroleum or Bharat Petroleum. We just check, or we are observing that there large vessels are there of this type, like this spherical pressure vessels. Therefore, these vessels are used to store the gas or liquid, or to store the fluid. Fluid means gas or liquid. Therefore, these are nothing but pressure vessel. Now this diagram towards the left hand side, it shows the different parts of the pressure vessel. Now this is nothing but cylindrical pressure vessel. It is horizontal pressure vessel because its axis is horizontal. Now these ends are there. Ends are closed by semi ellipsoidal dished ends. Then this bolted end access manway. Manway means if you will remove this cover plate, man can go inside this vessel. Now these lifting lugs are there. Lug, this is lug, means you can attach here any hook and you can lift this pressure vessel in the air and you can place it anywhere wherever you want. Now this again bolted manway. Here is, it is also manhole is there. Manway means manhole, means from where man will enter inside the vessel. Now these two supports are there. For this is one and this is second. These are welded to this vessel. These types of supports are known as saddle supports. Now these bolts for client installer. These bolts are used to fix this saddle support to the ground. This is the pressure vessel. Similarly, you can see this is spherical pressure vessel. These are the supports. These vertical columns you are observing. These are the supports for the pressure vessels. Now these water structures are there around this vessel. It is used for climbing on the vessel so that man can go inside this vessel. This is manhole. At the top of the vessel is manhole. At the bottom, you can take out the liquid or you can take out the fluid inside this spherical pressure vessel. Therefore, this is nothing but pressure vessel. You are knowing this is the you are observing this is the stair, so that one can climb on this spherical pressure vessel. Similarly, there are various types of pressure vessels. This is nozzle, process nozzle. These are the different parts of the pressure vessel. Cover plate, then semi ellipsoidal dished end. These are the end covers of this pressure vessel. This is cylinder. This is saddle support. These are lifting lugs, so that hook will be used to lift this vessel. Similarly, this is horizontal pressure vessel. Same things are there. Three saddle supports are there. Product outlet flange, lifting lug. Here one lug is there, here another lug, so that hook can be used to lift this pressure vessel. This is manhole. control cabinet with thermostats and switches here. 150 thick insulation with galvanized cladding. Galvanizing is used so that corrosion will not be there. Now this is again vertical pressure vessel because its axis is vertical. You just see these are the kicking plates, whatever. This is vent with cage, roof handrails. These are the roof handrails. Then this is nothing but wind girder. These are nothing but shell plates. This is nothing but roof manway. This is there nothing but manhole or roof manway from where man will go inside the vessel. These are the bed plates at the bottom. This is shell manway with davit arm. This is shell manway. Then this is bitumen stand. This is the foundation. This is bitumen stand. Then shell manway with davit arm. These base plates are there. Then level switching pad is there. Then combine the draw off and clean out sump. Here you can take out liquid at the bottom. These are the roof plates. Then indicator board contains gauge, cat and mouse type. This is gauge so that we can check height of the liquid or height of the fluid inside the vessel. Similarly, these are another pressure vessels. Again, this is the vertical because its axis is vertical. Vertical pressure vessel. See here, this is shell manway. This is davit arm. It is used to clamp this cover. Then this outer tank shell. This is known as outer tank shell. This is fill nozzle. This is vent box with cowl. Vent is always provided so that gases will not get trapped inside the vessel. Then process gauge flanges. Here you can use some pressure gauges to check the pressure inside the vessel. Then this is the safety hand railing. Hand railing. You are knowing railing. This is hand railing so that whenever man will climb on this vessel, he will hold this railing with the help of hand. That's why it is known as safety hand railing. Or because of this hand railing, this man will not collapse down or he will not fall down because of this hand railing. Then this roof manway, then caged access ladder. This is ladder so that one can climb over the top. This is the spacer angle. This is inner tank shell. And this is double thickness base plates. Similarly, these are also two types of pressure vessels. These are the supports of the pressure vessels. These are known as column support. Now top stiffening ring or RSA. This is top stiffening ring. This is the vessel. This is the 140-degree cone angle is there. Then this is another type of pressure vessel. This is shallow dished top. Shallow dished end is there. This is cylindrical. And these different types of ends are there. Ellipse, semi-ellipsoidal ends, shallow dished type, spherical type. Then this dished end 6% profile. Then these foot plates drilled. These foot plates are drilled so that this vessel can be clamped to the ground. Therefore, these are the different diagrams of the pressure vessels. I think you have got now how the pressure vessel looks like. Therefore, what is the definition of pressure vessels? Vessels, tanks, and pipelines that carry, store, or receive fluids are called as pressure vessels. A pressure vessel is defined as a container with a pressure differential inside and outside. The inside pressure is usually higher than the outside, except for some isolated situations. Now, you are knowing that these gas tankers, diesel tankers, petrol tankers, or whatever our in at home our cylinder is also there, gas cylinder, that is also one type of pressure vessel. Therefore inside that vessel liquid or fluid, liquid or gas, fluid is nothing but liquid or gas, that fluid is kept inside the cylinder under pressure. Now whatever that pressure, hello, what is the problem? Therefore, inside the cylinder, water pressure is there that is greater than the surrounding pressure. Surrounding pressure means atmospheric pressure. Therefore, a pressure vessel is defined as a container with a pressure differential between inside and outside. The inside pressure is usually higher than the outside, except for some isolated situations. Therefore, typical components of pressure vessel already we have seen, still we will see again. This is the inlet nozzle, this is the head, this is the shell, this is also head, this is skirt support. Different types of support we are going to see. This is known as skirt support. Skirt support is used to support vertical pressure vessels. Now this is the vertical pressure vessel because its axis is vertical and it is symmetric about vertical axis. That's why it is known as vertical pressure vessel. Now here outlet collector is there. This is outlet nozzle, outlet collector, lower catalyst bed, support grid. Therefore, these are nothing but different components of a pressure vessel. Therefore, the fluid inside the vessel may undergo a change in state, as in the case of steam boilers, or may combine with other reagents, as in the case of a chemical reactor. Pressure vessels often have a combination of high pressures together with high temperatures, and in some cases, flammable fluids or highly radioactive materials. Because of such hazards, it is imperative that the design be such that no leakage can occur. Now we are knowing that pressure vessels are used to carry the fluids. Fluids means liquid and gas. Therefore, we have to take into account its thickness so that our proper welding should be done. Welding efficiency should be there. Therefore, we have to take into account its leakage also because leakage should not occur. In addition, these vessels have to be designed carefully to cope with the operating temperature and pressure. It should be borne in mind that the rupture of a pressure vessel has a potential to cause extensive physical injury and property damage. Plant safety and integrity are of fundamental concern in pressure vessel design. Therefore, while taking into account, we have to consider what will be the internal pressure inside the pressure vessel. According to that, we have to select the thickness of the pressure vessel. We have to select welding, or we have to use proper welding technique so that that welded joint will be having sufficient strength to carry the load inside the pressure vessel or to carry the entire load of the pressure vessel. Now, before starting, you are knowing that, or before going ahead, again I will tell one example. All of us who have visited sugarcane industry. All of us who have visited sugarcane industry. Therefore, in sugarcane industry, there are different parts are there. Boiler is there. Boiler is also one type of pressure vessel. Boiler is there. Then economizer is there. Crystallizer is there. Then these all vessels, economizer, crystallizer, boiler, these are all known as pressure vessels. Always remember. Therefore, pressure vessels you will find its use in process industries. Process industries, where which are process industries? Sugarcane industry, milk is also process industry. If you have visited any dairy, Therefore, there at our milk dairy, there you will find that one large vessel is there, and inside that large vessel, milk is stored. Therefore, that is nothing but pressure vessel. Also, already I have given example in Pakni. On Pakni village is there on Solapur Mohol Road. There we are observing different vessels there which are used to store the fluid. Therefore, we will take a, we will see what are the applications of pressure vessel. Therefore, applications of pressure vessel: industrial compressed air receivers, domestic water storage tanks. Hot water storage tank, you are knowing, domestic. Our solar, if you are using the solar, then for hot water, then the water that tank is there, that is nothing but pressure vessel. Then diving cylinders for scuba diving. You may be seeing that oxyacetylene cylinder. You have learned that machine tool subject, or in maybe manufacturing process you have seen welding techniques or welding processes, different chapters are there. Therefore, that oxygen gas and acetylene gas, that two gases are stored in a cylinder. Also at our home, LPG gas is also stored in the cylinder. Therefore, these are known as cylinders, which are used to store the fluid under pressure. Then distillation towers, autoclaves in medical industry to sterilize, oil refineries and petrochemical plants. This we have seen at Pakni. Then nuclear reactor vessels, pneumatic and hydraulic reservoirs, then storage vessels for liquefied gas such as ammonia, chlorine, propane, butane, and LPG. Therefore, these are nothing but applications of pressure vessels. Now, what are the materials used for the pressure vessel? Therefore, we will see the materials used for the pressure vessel. Now, the materials that are used in pressure vessel construction are: first, steels, non-ferrous materials such as aluminum and copper, then metals such as titanium and zirconium, then non-metallic materials such as plastic, composites, and concrete. Then fourth, metallic and non-metallic protective coatings. Now, various materials have some typical characteristic as below: carbon steel, strength and moderate corrosion resistance; low alloy steels, strength at high temperatures; stainless steels, corrosion resistance; nickel steels, corrosion resistance; copper alloys, sea or water resistance; aluminum, light, low temperature toughness; titanium, sea water chemical resistance; refractories, very high temperatures; non-metallic, corrosion and chemicals. Therefore, these are the different materials and their characteristics which can be used for the pressure vessel. Now, factors affecting selection of material. What are the different factors affecting selection of material for pressure vessel? Therefore, first is operating, first is process fluids. That is, a plastic might be perfect for the fluid corrosiveness but will melt when the operators steam the equipment during cleaning. Therefore, we have to take into account what are the fluids which are going to store, which we are going to store inside the pressure vessel. Then operating temperature, operating pressure, fluid velocity, contamination of product, required life of the equipment, then cost of the materials of construction, base material plus fabrication cost, that is nothing but cost of the materials. Therefore, these are the different parameters we have to take into account while selection of material for the construction of pressure vessel. Now, what are we will see classification of pressure vessel based on wall thickness. First is thin wall vessel, and second is thick wall pressure vessel. Then second is according to geometric shape. First is cylindrical pressure vessel, second is spherical pressure vessel, third is rectangular pressure vessel, and fourth is combined pressure vessels. Now, third category based on installation methods: vertical vessels, horizontal vessels. Vertical vessels means that pressure vessel will be symmetric about vertical axis. Horizontal pressure vessel means pressure vessel will be symmetric about horizontal axis. Again, classification of pressure vessels based on operating temperature. First is low temperature vessels, less than or equal to minus 20 degrees Celsius. Then normal temperature vessels, temperature will be between minus 20 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius. Then medium temperature vessels, temperature will be between 150 degrees Celsius to 450 degrees Celsius. Then fourth, high temperature vessels, therefore which operating temperature is more than or equal to 450 degrees Celsius. Therefore this is the classification based on operating temperature. Now based on design pressure, based on design pressure, pressure vessels are classified as low pressure vessels, 0.1 MPa to 1.6 megapascal. Medium pressure vessels, 1.6 megapascal to 10 megapascal. High pressure vessels, 10 megapascal to 100 megapascal. Fourth, ultra high pressure vessels, more than 100 megapascal. Then third is based on technological processes: reaction vessel, heat exchanger vessel, separation vessels, storage container vessels. Now these all the vessels, reaction vessels, heat exchanger vessel, separation vessel, storage container vessel, these you will find in chemical industry or in sugarcane industry, these different vessels. Now difference between thin shell and thick shell pressure vessels. Now serial number 1 criteria: thin shell, thick shell. Now serial number, first criteria is thickness. In case of thin shell or thin cylindrical pressure vessel, thickness is less than 1/10 to 1/15 of the diameter of the pressure vessel. And here in case of thick shell, thickness of the pressure vessel is more than 1/10 to 1/15 of the diameter of the pressure vessel, that is small d. Then second, internal fluid pressure. Internal fluid pressure P is less than 1/6 of the allowable stress. And here in case of thick spherical pressure vessel, internal fluid pressure P is greater than 1/6 of the allowable stress. Now third, application used in boilers, tanks and pipes. Thick shells used in high pressure cylinders, tanks, gun barrels, etc. Now we will see what are the stresses in a thin cylindrical shell due to an internal pressure. Now the analysis of stresses induced in a thin cylindrical shell are made on the following assumptions. The effect of curvature of the cylinder wall is neglected. The tensile stresses are uniformly distributed over the section of the walls. The effective the effect of the restraining action of the heads at the end of the pressure vessel is neglected. When thin cylindrical shell is subjected to an internal pressure, it is likely to be fail in the following two ways. It may fail along the horizontal section circumferentially. Then it may fail across the transverse section longitudinally. splitting the cylinder into two cylindrical walls, cylindrical shells. Thus, the wall of a cylindrical shell subjected to an internal pressure has to withstand tensile stress of the following two types. First is circumferential stress or hoof stress, and second is longitudinal stress. Now we will see circumferential stress or hoof stress. Now circumferential stress or hoof stress. Now this is the cylinder. I have cut it along the horizontal axis. Therefore, this is the cross section of cylinder. Therefore, consider a thin cylindrical shell subjected to an internal pressure as shown in figure. This is internal pressure P. Tensile stress acting in a direction tangential to the circumference is called circumferential or hoof stress. In other words, it is a tensile stress on longitudinal section or on the cylindrical walls. That's why this pressure vessel or horizontal pressure vessel is going to split like this. Therefore, we will find out its equation. Let P is equal to intensity of internal pressure, small d, internal diameter of the cylindrical shell, L, thickness of the cylindrical shell, small t, thickness of the cylindrical shell, and sigma T1 is nothing but circumferential or hoof stress for the material of the cylindrical shell. We know that the total force acting on a longitudinal section, that is along the x-axis of the shell, this is x-axis of the shell, is equal to internal pressure in intensity of pressure into projected area. Therefore, intensity of pressure P into projected area is nothing but L into D. Therefore, P into D into L. Similarly, also the total resisting force on the cylinder walls for two reactions is equal to sigma TW divided by sigma TL into 2T into L. Therefore, equating equations 1 and 2, we are getting P into pi by 4 d square is equal to sigma T2 into pi dt. Therefore, sigma T2 is equal to PD upon 4T. This is nothing but longitudinal stress or circumferential stress. Now we will see thin spherical shells subjected to an internal pressure. Now in the diagram it has been shown that pressure P is acting inside the spherical shell, and this T is nothing but thickness of this thin spherical shell. Therefore, consider a thin spherical shell subjected to an internal pressure as shown in figure. Let V is the storage capacity of the shell. Then P is nothing but intensity of internal pressure in Newton per mm square. Small d is equal to diameter of the vessel, small t thickness of the vessel, and sigma t is equal to nothing but permissible stress or permissible tensile stress for the shell material. In designing with spherical shell, but therefore, in designing thin spherical shells, we have to determine diameter of the shell and the thickness of the shell. Therefore, we know that the therefore we know that the storage capacity of the shell V is equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube, which is equal to R is equal to मला सांग, R is equal to, you can put d by 2, therefore v is equal to 4 by 3 pi into d by 2 bracket cube, therefore v is equal to pi by 6. V is equal to pi by 6 d cube, therefore d is equal to 6 v divided by pi raised to bracket 1 by 3. As a result of the internal pressure, the overall shell is uh, likely to rupture along the center of the sphere. Therefore, I have shown that sometimes cylinder is going to burst. This is bursting is due to rupture of the material of the pressure vessel. Therefore, force tending to rupture the shell along the center of the sphere or bursting force is equal to pressure into area. Therefore, pressure P into pi by 4 d square, equation 1. Also applying restoring force for the shell wall, which is equal to stress into resisting area, which is equal to sigma t into pi dt, equation 2. Therefore, equating equations 1 and 2, we have P into pi by 4 d square is equal to sigma T2 into pi dt. Therefore, sigma T2 is equal to PD upon 4T. Therefore, this is another stress. I think you should write down this equations, draw this diagram and write down these equations. Please, I will wait for 5 to 10 minutes. 5 minutes I will wait. Therefore, once again, therefore, force tending to rupture the shell along the center of the sphere or bursting force is equal to pressure into area, which is equal to P into pi by 4 d square, equation 1. Also, resisting force of the shell is equal to stress into resisting area, which is equal to sigma t into pi dt, equation 2. Therefore, equating equations 1 and 2, we have P into pi by 4 d square is equal to sigma t2 into pi dt. Therefore, sigma T2 is equal to PD into PD divided by 4T. Therefore, this is another equation for the stress. Now, using these equations, D is equal to 6P divided by pi bracket raised to 1 by 3. Sigma T2 is equal to PD upon 4T. Then sigma T1, I think here sigma T1 should be there. Pi by 4 D square. Yes, here sigma T1 already we have calculated. Sigma T1 is equal to PD upon 4T. This is sigma T2 longitudinal stress, and this stress is for the spherical. That's why sigma T2 is equal to PD upon 40. Therefore, please write down the problem. We will solve this problem. Example 1, a seamless cylinder with a storage capacity of 0.3 meter cube is subjected to an internal pressure of 25 megapascal. The length of the cylinder is twice its internal diameter. The cylinder is made of plain carbon steel having SUT is equal to 420 Newton per mm square, and the factor of safety is 3. Determine the dimensions of the cylinder. Please write down the problem. We will solve this problem. Okay, we will solve problem. Solution. A seamless cylinder with a storage capacity of 0.3 meter cube. Therefore, they have given first of all volume. Volume V is equal to volume V is equal to point. Sorry, volume V is equal to zero point 0.3 meter cube. Then subjected to an internal pressure of 25 megapascal. Therefore, P pressure we will write P or we will write PI. PI internal pressure is nothing but 25 megapascal. 25 megapascal means how much? 25 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. Then length of the cylinder L is equal to twice its internal diameter. Internal diameter means di. Then SUT is equal to 420 Newton per mm square, and factor of safety is equal to 3. Factor of safety is equal to 3. Therefore, we'll solve this problem now. Now, first of all, we have to find out dimensions of the cylinder. Dimensions of the cylinder means its length, diameter, and thickness. Therefore, step 1. Step 1. Dimensions or diameter and length of the cylinder. Diameter and length of the cylinder. Therefore, you are knowing since this is cylindrical vessel, therefore what is the volume of the cylinder? V is equal to pi by 4 di square L, and we are knowing that L is equal to 2 di. Therefore, substitute that value. V is equal to pi by 4 di square into 2 di. Therefore, you will get V is equal to V is equal to pi by 2 di cube. Therefore, substitute the values. V is nothing but 0.3, which is equal to pi by 2 di cube. Therefore, calculate di, or di will be what? I will write in cube root 2 into 0.3 divided by pi. Therefore, what is di? In meter you will get a. Tell me the value. Hello. What is the answer? Hello. Hello.
0.5759 meter.
0.5759 meter. Okay. Therefore calculate length of the cylinder. Length will calculate here. Length L is equal to 2 di. Therefore, which is equal to 2 into 0.5759. What is length in meter?
1.15.
1.15 meter. Okay. Now step 2. Thickness of the cylinder. Thickness of the cylinder. Therefore, first of all, we will calculate sigma t, that is permissible stress. Sigma t, because they are given SUT. Sigma t is equal to what? SUT divided by Fs, that is factor of safety. Therefore, 420 divided by 3. Therefore, sigma t is equal to 140 Newton per mm square. Therefore, what is how to calculate thickness? Sigma t is equal to PD upon PIDI upon 2T, because this is cylindrical pressure vessel. Therefore, PIDI upon 2T. Therefore, T is equal to PIDI divided by 2 sigma T. Therefore, substitute the values. Pi is nothing but 25 into 10 raised to 6 into Di 0.5759 divided by 2 into 140. Therefore, thickness you will get in a meter. Convert it into mm. What is the thickness? Hello. What is thickness? Sorry, here some we have to make some corrections. Sigma t is there. We have to take sigma t in Newton per meter square also. Therefore, here you have to use 10 raised to 6, because here you have to use 140 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. Now you will get correct answer, because it's 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to 6, it will get cancelled. How much is thickness?
0.0514 meter.
Yes, 0.0514 meter. Therefore, how much mm? 51.4 mm. Is it correct? Therefore, this is our answer. Please check here. You have taken sigma t in 140 Newton per mm square. We have to convert it into Newton per meter square. Therefore, 51.4 mm. This is our final answer. L is equal to 1.15 meter and inside diameter di is equal to 0.5759 meter. Please write down. Now Write down this second problem. We'll solve this second problem. तेरह पंद्रह सोलह पंद्रह सोलह अठारह तेईस चौबीस पंचवीस Okay, I think you're written. We'll see the problem. An air receiver consisting of a 500 diameter cylinder closed by hemispherical ends is made of steel FEE 200 and the factor of safety is 2.5. The operating pressure is limited to 3 megapascal. Treating the receiver as a thin cylinder, calculate the thickness of the cylinder wall and the hemispherical ends. Neglect the effect of welded joints. Now, here they have given that one figure they have given. I will draw that figure. Therefore, these are the hemispherical ends. This is the length. This diagram they have provided. L is equal to 2 di, and this is the inner diameter. Sorry. Hmm. This is the inner diameter di. Hello, any problem? And they have given us SUT. They have given us SUT is equal to 340 Newton per mm square. And factor of safety they have given it as 4. Therefore, these are the given quantities. Sorry, already here they have given factor of safety 2.5. Sorry. Therefore, write down the given quantities. What are the given quantities? Solution, given data. Now they are given consisting of 500 diameter means di they are given. Di value they have given. Therefore, di is nothing but di is equal to 500 which is equal to zero point 0.5 meter. Then factor of safety 2.5. Then SUT is equal to 340 Newton per square. Hello. Operating pressure they are given PI is equal to 3 megapascal, which is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. Now, first of all, we will calculate sigma T. First of all, we will calculate sigma T. Therefore, sigma T is equal to SUT upon Fs, which is equal to 340 upon 2.5. How much? How much is SUT?
136.
136 Newton per square means 136 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. Therefore, directly we will calculate now thickness of cylindrical shell because they have given all the quantities. Diameter they have given, internal pressure they have given. Therefore, we are knowing thickness. Therefore, thickness thickness of cylindrical shell, thickness thickness of cylindrical shell, cylindrical shell is, what is the equation? T is equal to pi di divided by 2 sigma t. Therefore, substitute the values. 3 into 10 raised to 6 into zero point 0.5 divided by 2 into 136 into 10 raised to 6. What is the thickness? Thickness you will get in meter, calculate it in mm. Hello, what is the thickness? Hello.
5.51 into 10 raised to minus 3.
5.51
51 into 10 raised to minus 3.
into 10 raised to minus 3 meter. Means how much mm? 5.51 mm. Is it correct? Now we will calculate thickness of hemispherical shell. Therefore, thickness of hemispherical shell, hemispherical shell is T is equal to pi di upon 4 sigma t. Therefore, substitute the values. Pi 3 into 10 raised to 6, di zero point 0.5 divided by 4 into 136 into 10 raised to 6. What is thickness in meter, and here it is in mm? What is thickness? Hello.
2.75 into 10 raised to minus 3.
2.75 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter means 2.75 mm. Is it correct? Okay, now next point. Thick cylindrical shells subjected to an internal pressure. Now when the ratio of the inner diameter small d to the cylinder wall thickness T is greater than 10 to 15. The cylinder is called thick cylinder. Hydraulic cylinders, high pressure pipes, and gun barrels are examples of thick cylinders. The radial stress sigma r is neglected in thin cylinders, while it is of significant magnitude in case of thick cylinders. There are number of equations for the design of thick cylinders. The choice of equation depends upon two parameters: cylinder material, that is whether it is brittle or ductile, and condition of cylinder, that is whether it is open or closed. Therefore, in the design of thick cylindrical vessels, the following equations are mostly used. First, Lamage equation, second, Bernoulli's equation, and third is Clavarino's equation. Therefore, we will see these equations one by one. Now, we will see Lamage equation first of all. I will explain the equations directly or write down last equation. That is this. T is equal to Lamage equation. Now, when the material of the cylinder is brittle, such as cast iron or cast steel, Lamage equation is used to determine the wall thickness. It is based on the maximum principal stress theory of failure, where maximum principal stress is equated to the permissible stress. For the material, three principal stresses at the inner surface of the cylinder are as follows: sigma r radial stress is equal to minus pi, equation 1; sigma t tensile stress is equal to plus pi into do square plus di square divided by do square minus di square. Do means outside diameter, di means inside diameter, equation 2; and sigma l, that is longitudinal stress, is equal to plus pi into di square divided by do square minus di square, equation 3. Therefore, sigma t is greater than sigma l is greater than sigma r. Therefore, hence sigma t is the criterion of design. Therefore, from equation 2, whatever this from equation 2 is there, this pi will take here to the left side. Therefore, sigma t divided by pi will be there. Therefore, sigma t divided by pi is equal to do square plus di square divided by do square minus di square. Now, cross multiplication. Sigma t into do square minus di square is equal to pi into bracket do square plus di square. Now, by multiplying inside the bracket, we are getting the equation sigma t into do square minus sigma t into di square is equal to pi do square plus pi di square. Therefore, taking similar terms on one side, therefore sigma t into do square minus pi do square is equal to sigma t di square plus pi di square. Taking do square common and di square common, we are getting do square into bracket sigma t minus pi is equal to di square into bracket sigma t plus pi. Therefore, do square upon di square is equal to sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi. Now, therefore, do upon di bracket square, because what equation we have got, do square upon di square, do square upon di square. Therefore, we can convert this equation into do upon di bracket square. Therefore, do upon di bracket square is equal to sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi. Now, therefore, taking square root on both sides, do upon di is equal to square root of sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi. Now, you are knowing that outside diameter is nothing but inside diameter plus twice of thickness. Therefore, substituting do is equal to di plus 2t. Therefore, substitute di plus 2t divided by di is equal to root of sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi. Therefore 1 plus 2t upon di is equal to root of sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi. Therefore 2t upon di is equal to 1 will go on this side. Therefore which is equal to square root of sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi minus 1. Therefore t is equal to di divided by 2. Here square into in bracket should be there. Huh? This should be in bracket. Therefore di divided by 2 into bracket square root of sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi minus 1, where sigma t is equal to SUT upon Fs. Therefore you write down this equation is known as Lamage equation. This equation is known as Lamage equation. Write down this equation. Please write down. Or you want derivation? Anyone can tell. If you want derivation, you can write. I will keep the slide for 2 to 3 minutes. Hello? Anyone want derivation? Hello? Roll number 43.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Pranay? Hello?
Yes, sir. Ha. Yes, sir.
Do you want to write expression?
No, sir.
Or
No, sir.
you want only this equation? Therefore, please write only this equation. T is equal to di divided by 2 into bracket square root of sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi minus 1. This is the Lamage equation. Therefore, yes, sigma t is equal to SUT upon Fs. Therefore, based upon this equation, we will solve one problem. Therefore, write down this problem. Now we'll solve this problem. Example 3. The piston rod of a hydraulic cylinder exerts an operating force of 10 kilonewton. The friction due to piston packing and stepping box is equivalent to 10% of the operating force. The pressure inside the cylinder is 10 megapascal. The cylinder is made of cast iron FG 200 and the factor of safety is 5. Determine the diameter and the thickness of the cylinder. Now, since Material used for the cylinder is cast iron, therefore we can use Lamage equation to determine diameter and thickness, because what our Lamage equation says, when the material of the cylinder is brittle such as cast iron or cast steel, Lamage equation is used to determine the wall thickness. Therefore we will use Lamage equation to solve this problem. Therefore solution, now given, first of all, operating force or piston force is equal to 10 Newton. Then pressure inside the cylinder Pi is equal to 10 megapascal. Ten megapascal is equal to, you are knowing, 10 Newton per mm square, which is equal to 10 into 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. Then effect of friction, effect of friction is equal to 10%. Now they have given FG 200, therefore FG in case of cast iron to FG 200 means SUT is equal to SUT is equal to 200 Newton per mm square, and factor of safety they have given it as 5. Now we will calculate total force. Therefore total force P is equal to, first of all, force, operating force 10%, sorry, 10 Newton plus 10% of 10 Newton.
Hello, sir.
How, what?
Sir, that piston force is 10 kilonewton, sir.
Okay, 10 kilonewton. I will write here. Where it, here it is. Piston force is 1 minute. Hello. This is 10 kilonewton. Now 10 kilonewton plus 10% of 10 means how much? 11 kilonewton, which is equal to 11,000 Newton. Now they have given us force. Force means what? Pressure into area. Force means what? Pressure into area. Therefore P is equal to, force P is equal to what? Pressure. I will write down the equation so that you will understand. Which is equal to pressure Pi into pi by 4 di square. Therefore, substitute the value and calculate diameter. 11,000 is equal to pi. How much is pi? Substitute directly value 10, so that directly you will get diameter in mm. Pi by 4 di square. Therefore, calculate di in mm. Direct value you will get in mm. How much? Hello. Hello, what is diameter? Pranay?
37.42.
37.42 mm. Now we'll calculate thickness. Now to calculate thickness, we must know sigma t. Therefore, sigma t is equal to SUT upon Fs, which is equal to 200 upon 5. Therefore, sigma t is equal to 40 Newton per mm square. Therefore, what is the Lamage equation for thickness? T is equal to di divided by 2 into bracket square root of sigma t plus pi divided by sigma t minus pi minus 1. Therefore, substitute the values and find out the answer. 37.42 divided by 2 into bracket square root of, this is 2, 40 plus 10 divided by 40 minus 10 minus 1. What is the thickness? Directly thickness you will get in mm.
Five point 44.
5.44. Correct. I think all of you have got the answer. Now we will go to next Bernoulli's equation. Now Bernoulli's equation is used for open end cylinders. Open end means cylinders are not closed, such as pipe. One end is closed, one end is open. That condition is also possible for Bernoulli's equation. Therefore, in case of open-end cylinders such as pump cylinder, ramps, gun barrels, etc., made of ductile materials, that is low carbon steel, brass, bronze, and aluminum alloys, the allowable stress cannot be determined by means of maximum stress theory of failure. In such cases, the maximum strain theory is used. According to this theory, the failure occurs when the strain reaches a limiting value. Therefore, Bernoulli's equation for the wall thickness of a cylinder is given by T is equal to divided by 2 into bracket square root of sigma plus into bracket 1 minus mu into pi divided by sigma minus 1 plus mu into pi minus 1, where mu is equal to Poisson's ratio. Di means inside diameter, pi is nothing but internal pressure, T is nothing but thickness of the cylinder. Therefore, write down this equation. Based on this equation, we will solve the one problem. Hello. I think you have written. Therefore, write down this problem. A seamless pipe of 100 mm internal diameter is subjected to an internal pressure of 12 megapascal. It is made of steel. SYT is equal to 230 Newton per m square. And Poisson's ratio, this is mu. Poisson's ratio mu is equal to 0.27 and the factor of safety is 2.5. Determine the thickness of the pipe. Therefore, solution. Given data, we will write down first of all. Diameter of the pipe di is equal to 100 mm. Pressure pi is equal to 12 megapascal, means 12 Newton per mm square. Then SYT is equal to 230 Newton per mm square. mu is equal to 0.27, then factor of safety 2.5. Therefore, you write down since the pipe has open ends and it is made of ductile material and it is made of ductile material, that is steel. Ductile material, that is because steel is ductile material. Therefore, Birnie's equation, BIRNIE apostrophe S, Birnie's equation can be used. Therefore, write down the Birnie's equation. First of all, you calculate sigma T or sigma. Sigma is equal to SYT upon Fs, which is equal to 230 divided by 2.5. How much? Anyone can tell? What is sigma? Or
92.
for 92. Now directly you can use Birnie's equation for thickness. T is equal to di divided by 2 into bracket square root of sigma plus 1 minus mu into pi divided by sigma minus, what is that equation? 1 plus mu into pi minus 1, bracket complete. Equation is correct. Sigma plus 1 minus mu, sigma minus 1 plus mu. Yes, correct. Therefore, substitute the values. What is di? 100 divided by 2 into bracket square root of 92 plus 1 minus 0.27 into pi 12 divided by 92 minus 1 plus 0.27 into 12 minus 1. What is the thickness? In mm you will get directly. Calculate the thickness and we will stop here. Hello, what is the thickness? Please tell the answer so that we will stop. Hello, anyone can tell me the thickness? Hello? Hello, what is the thickness? Pranay? Anyone can tell me the answer?
संपूर्ण लोकर.
Wow, how much? Hello? How much?
7.29 mm.
7.29. Okay. Now this is the end of the problem. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Enter your number in chat box.